There are few feelings in life more frustrating than getting so close to the finish line, but due to one reason or another, you just can't cross it. And today we're taking a look at teams who know exactly what I'm talking about.
I don't really see a scenario where the Colts are not in the playoffs.
Jags beat the Colts 26-11, sealed their fate. They are done.
They went from the team nobody wanted to face in the playoffs to a team nobody is seeing in the playoffs.
It's never easy for NFL coaches, players, and fans to stomach postseason losses. But then again, at least they made it there. It could be worse. These 12 teams would have killed for a spot in the big dance. So let's jump right into the 12 most heartbreaking ways an NFL team missed out on the postseason. 2003 Minnesota Vikings. They had one job. The Dante Culpepper and Randy Moss-led Minnesota Vikings needed one of two scenarios to unfold if they were to claim the NFC North Division. They could either beat the 3-win Arizona Cardinals or have the Denver Broncos beat the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. The Broncos were no match for Brett Favre and company, who cruised to a 31-3 victory. It seemed like a moot point, however, because the Vikings looked poised to win it in the desert that would have clinched the division. Minnesota was clinging to a 17-12 lead late in the fourth quarter. Josh McCown drove Arizona into the red zone, but back-to-back sacks brought up a 4th and 24 situation in the waning seconds. It looked like Minnie was going to survive until McCown found Nate Poole near the back corner of the end zone for the game-winning score. And just like that, the Vikings season was over. 2017 Baltimore Ravens, tamed by the Bengals. The last wildcard spot in the AFC was down to the Bills, Chargers, and Ravens. Buffalo and LA had won their respective games, finishing with identical 9-7 records. But Baltimore controlled their own destiny, needing just a win against the Bengals to punch their ticket. The Ravens overcame a sluggish start and erased a 14-point second-half deficit. They rallied for 17 unanswered points and led 27-24, needing just one more stop to lock it down. Andy Dalton brought the Bengals offense just past midfield, but the Ravens forced a 4th and 12 situation with 53 seconds remaining. This lockdown secondary just needed one more stop against the league's 26th ranked scoring offense. And they didn't get it. Instead, Dalton and Tyler Boyd silenced the crowd in Baltimore. With that score, the Ravens were out, and the Bills were in, ending an 18-year playoff drought for the people of Buffalo.
As promised, here's some fruits for your labor. Thanks, man. Much love from Jerry Hughes in the city of Buffalo.
2021 Los Angeles Chargers, one kneel down away. The Chargers and Raiders met in Week 18 of the 2021 season with a playoff spot on the line. The winner was heading to the postseason, and the loser was going home. Or, if they tied, both teams would go to the playoffs, and the Steelers would be going home. The Bolts trailed by 15 points with 4.5 minutes left in the fourth. Miraculously, Justin Herbert and Josh Palmer hooked up for a touchdown on a 4th and 21 situation to make it a one-score game. After they forced a punt, Herbert drove the Chargers back into the red zone. On the final play of regulation, he hit Mike Williams for the touchdown, and the ensuing extra point sent the game to overtime. The Raiders and Chargers each scored a field goal on their first possession of the extra frame. That put Vegas in a position later in overtime where they could have taken a couple of kneel downs and clinched a playoff berth for both teams. But with 38 seconds remaining and the Raiders facing a 3rd and 4th situation, Chargers head coach Brandon Staley curiously called a timeout. That seemed to change Vegas' mentality from playing for a tie to going for the win.
Chargers take a timeout.
What?
Yeah,
I think the Raiders were playing to get it down to either a field goal or just let the clock run out, and the Chargers took the timeout.
I'm trying to process this myself.
Wow.
I know.
And, well, that's exactly what they did, as a 10-yard Josh Jacobs run set up Daniel Carlson for a game-winning field goal attempt on the final play of the game. The Raiders could have easily just played for the tie there, but they aggressively went for the win, and got it. As for the Chargers, well, in typical Chargers fashion, they found a way to come oh so close, only to blow it in the most heartbreaking fashion. 1997 New York Jets. 4 points short. After winning just one game in 1996, the Jets turned a corner in year one under Hall of Fame head coach Bill Parcells. They stood at 9-6 entering the Week 17 finale and needed a victory over the Detroit Lions to clinch a playoff spot. New York jumped out to a 10-0 lead in the first quarter, and they held the Lions to just 3 points in the first half. It looked like the Jets' stingy defense would propel them right back to the postseason. But New York just couldn't get any offense going in the second half. Barry Sanders' 15-yard touchdown in the fourth quarter put the Lions ahead 13-10. Neil O'Donnell and the Jets offense got the ball back late with a chance to tie or win it. But the Lions forced a punt. Sanders then put the game away with a 53-yard run, which allowed Detroit to melt the clock. And just like that, the Jets were headed home. 2008 Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Raiders get comeuppance on Gruden. The Buccaneers look destined for another trip to the postseason. John Gruden and company stood at 9-3 with 4 games to go, seemingly having a playoff spot all but locked up. But Tampa Bay dropped 3 straight games to fall to 9-6. They needed a win at home over the Oakland Raiders, Gruden's former team, and the Dallas Cowboys lost to the Philadelphia Eagles to clinch. The Raiders were just 4-11 on the season, so this should have been a cakewalk for Tampa. However, the fired-up Raiders embraced the underdog role and went ahead on a 67-yard Michael Bush touchdown run with 7 minutes remaining. The game ended when the Raiders sacked Jeff Garcia to escape with a 31-24 victory. If that wasn't painful enough for the Bucs, the Cowboys were crushed 44-6 by the Eagles. Adding to the heartbreak was the fact that this would be Gruden's last game as the Buccaneers head coach. The team subsequently fired him after that embarrassing late-season collapse. 1986 Cincinnati Bengals. No lent hand here. The final wildcard spot in the AFC came down to the Bengals and Chiefs. Cincy crushed the playoff-bound Jets 52-21 to finish 10-6. But that wouldn't matter if the Chiefs could take care of business against the Steelers. The Bengals could only hope for the best. The Steelers were 6-9 heading into this game, but they at least had home field advantage. Kansas City built a seemingly insurmountable 24-6 lead late in the third quarter, but a Mark Malone touchdown run and a pair of Gary Anderson field goals made it a 24-19 game in the fourth quarter. And just like that, Cincy had a bit of hope. But that hope quickly faded when Albert Lewis picked off Malone late in the game. Pittsburgh eventually got the ball back, but Lewis once again played hero by swatting away a fourth down pass attempt, turnover on downs. With that, KC was back in the playoffs for the first time since 1986, and the Bengals were forced to watch the postseason from home. 2004 Buffalo Bills. You couldn't beat backups? After dropping their first 4 games, the Bills turned the page in a blink of an eye and rallied for victories in 9 of their next 11 games. Heading into Week 17, they just needed a win over the top-seeded Pittsburgh Steelers to clinch a playoff spot. But here's the catch. Pittsburgh had the number 1 seed clinched, so they sat Ben Roethlisberger and several other key starters. Buffalo, winners of 6 straight, just needed to beat some second stringers at home. Buffalo led 17-16 late in the third quarter, but a Pittsburgh field goal and a James Harrison fumble return for a touchdown helped the visitors build up a 9-point lead. Another Jeff Reed field goal helped the Steelers go up 12. The Bills got a late touchdown to make it a 5-point game, but the Steelers recovered the onside kick to seal the game and the home team's fate. Buffalo wouldn't make the postseason again until 2017. 2013 Pittsburgh Steelers. Thanks for nothing, KC. The Steelers started out 0-4 and dropped 6 of their first 8 games. Sitting at 2-6 with half a season to go, they looked utterly doomed. But Ben Roethlisberger in the offense finally found its rhythm in the second half, and a manageable schedule helped the Steelers close out the season with victories in 6 of their final 8, including W's in each of their final 3 games. Pittsburgh did their job and stood at 8-8. Now, they just needed the San Diego Chargers to lose to the Kansas City Chiefs to sneak in. Having locked down the number 5 seed in the AFC, the Chiefs were happy to rest key starters. But backup QB Chase Daniel had a phenomenal outing, and he set up kicker Ryan Suckup with a chance to play hero on a 41-yard attempt in the final seconds. Fans in Steeler Nation could only sit back and pray that the ball sails through the uprights. Well, there was still overtime. But the Chargers kicked a field goal on the opening possession, and their defense forced a turnover on downs to end a 4-year playoff drought. Thanks to Suck-Up Smiths, the Steelers' second-half surge was all for naught. They missed out on the postseason for the second straight year. 2015 New York Jets. Rex Ryan gets the last laugh. The Jets were one of the NFL's most pleasant surprises of 2015. They hired Todd Bowles to replace Rex Ryan, and journeyman Ryan Fitzpatrick took over the starting QB job. New York finished with the game's number 11 scoring offense and the 9th best scoring D. All they needed in Week 17 was a road win against Rex Ryan's Bills or a Pittsburgh loss to the Cleveland Browns to sneak in. Well, the Steelers soundly beat the Browns, so the Jets were going to have to do their own dirty work. But Rex Ryan got the last laugh against his former team. Fitzpatrick threw 3 picks in the game as Ryan's defense helped seal the Jets' fate. Fitz nearly hooked up with Kenbrell Tompkins on this miracle pass that would have won it with 17 seconds remaining, but it simply wasn't meant to be. 2021 New Orleans Saints. Thanks for trying, Rams. Despite having to use 4 different quarterbacks and a single-season record 58 starters, Sean Payton's New Orleans Saints fought their way to an impressive 9-8 record. Year 1 of the post-Drew Brees era was seemingly going to net this resilient team at least a playoff spot, so long as the Los Angeles Rams defeated the San Francisco 49ers in Week 18. It sure looked like the Saints would get the help they needed to extend their season. The Rams led 17-0 in the second quarter, before San Fran rallied for 17 unanswered points to tie the game. With 2 minutes and 29 seconds remaining, Matthew Stafford hit Cooper Kupp to put the Rams up by a touchdown. But the LA defense crumbled late, and Jimmy Garoppolo would hit Jawan Jennings for a touchdown with 26 ticks remaining. This game was now headed to overtime. The Saints fans held their breath. The Rams D finally came up with a stop and forced San Fran to kick a field goal on their opening possession. However, the Saints were officially eliminated when Stafford threw an interception to Ambry Thomas. Once again, it was the Rams who were responsible for breaking the Saints' hearts. Stop us if you've heard that one before. 2013 Chicago Bears. Aaron Rodgers does it again. Green Bay and Chicago met at Soldier Field in Week 17 of the 2013 season with the NFC North title on the line. Chicago led 28-27 with 5 minutes left in the fourth. The Packers converted on a couple of 4th and 1 plays during their final drive, but with 46 seconds remaining, they faced a critical 4th and 8 situation. But the Bears defense once again could not come up with that one last stop. Green Bay's defense would hold on from there to lock up a 3rd straight division title, and the Bears were sent into offseason hibernation. 2006 Cincinnati Bengals. The Steelers steal one. The defending AFC North champions needed a victory and a Jets loss, or a win, a Chiefs win, and a Denver Broncos loss to get into the postseason. New York took care of business against Oakland, so the first scenario was out of the question. However, the Chiefs defeated the Jaguars at home, and the 49ers stunned the Broncos on the road in overtime. So, 2 boxes checked. 1 more to go. Cincy just needed a home win against the bitter rival Steelers to get into the playoffs. But this is the Bengals we're talking about. The Steelers tied it on a late field goal before breaking Cincy's collective hearts with a 67-yard Santonio Holmes touchdown in overtime. What a sad way to watch your season end. Are there any other teams who fell heartbreakingly short of the playoffs that we may have missed? Join us in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, clicking the like button helps out a ton. And hey, we appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.